What's up, y'all? I'm gonna be reacting to Fantastic Hip Hop on their latest video about this new Drake release and kind of Kendrick's response. I always like watching these videos because he does a great job of just like analyzing everything, fact checking everything. So, yeah, let's get into it.
Now listen, I am skipping the intro once again because now as the Drake fans have gotten even more mad at me for just pointing out that What Did I Miss so bad that it got outstreamed by literally every single thing that Kendrick Lamar has released on his run with ease. And just to get them a little more mad, I'm gonna point out that Squabble Up and Luther destroyed Drake's streaming numbers with ease in just 7 hours of tracking. Well, now before we go any further into all of this, make sure to leave that like so we can all look at how Drake's new song is continuing to claim its title as the most cringe song of the year, and so the entire rap world can see once and for all. We're in this time where now over 1 year later where both Kendrick Lamar and Drake are back outside and active. Well, one is showing how they are the champion of the entire rap world while the other is dancing around in an icebox. And now as we are going to be trying something new in this one, as we have a 2-in-1 today, because after we talk about Kendrick and Drake, we have to talk about one of the biggest issues in hip-hop, which is surrounding another major rapper. Well, be sure to leave a like and subscribe and get ready for something that as rap fans you don't want to miss, because right now, well, you can say it with me this time, when it comes to Drake. Now, ever since the Iceman danced around on stream in an icebox after driving around in the ice truck and dropping the Hard Part 6 and No Face copy and paste in What Did I Miss?
Hey, making cassava is super easy. I like to do the blender mode, but I'll show you the shakers as well. Shake.
I did think that, I did think that What Did I Miss sounded just like No Face. It's funny he says that because I was like, no one else is talking about that. But yeah, I heard it. I was like, it sounds like you're kind of trying to do the same thing. My thing is this, like, it doesn't matter if Drake puts out the catchiest song, best hook. If he's still talking and acting tough, like he's not the one suing Kendrick Lamar, it doesn't matter how good the song is. Like, it's just not believable. It's just not believable. Anyways.
Well, it seems like this time, with the sheer scale and spectacle that Drake has decided to create for such a disastrous miss, well, everyone is seeing right now what is on display from the corniest rapper in the game at the moment, and at the center of this all, well, now as we have already seen that people like LeBron James and Future have heard this track in some capacity, and they have shown off their early reactions to what Drake has done already. Well, if you thought Drake getting trolled by LeBron was not enough yet, I got good news for you, because things have not stopped there, because beyond just the people who Drake is dissing on this song because he is scared of the real person who has caused all of this, well, now seemingly for the current king of rap in Kendrick Lamar, well, we are really lucky in this time that Kendrick is still outside and on the European leg of his Grand National Tour, because as we have been able to see Kendrick Lamar come out and just perform and interact with fans during these shows, well, we can see how Kendrick is moving in real time alongside some of these genre-turning moments where everybody is just left in absolute shock of how bad a single rapper's moves can be in Drake, and seemingly with Kendrick Lamar's latest shows in Germany. Well, as Kendrick continued to lead the charge to have the highest grossing hip-hop tour of all time and one of the highest grossing tours period ever. Well, one thing that was clear about how Kendrick was moving here within this very show was simply that he was having more fun here maybe than on any other stop in the entire tour. And now while on one end, this is surely because the crowds out here are so into the performances and they are chanting and hyping up Kendrick and moving like a unit like we rarely ever see, because just look at this video for a second and see how Kendrick has the entire stadium moving, all while Kendrick was telling every other rapper that they can never get like him and they are absolutely scared of him as he freestyled over Family Ties. And I just gotta play this back one more time, because when you see the crowd control throughout this entire stadium, it is just showing in of itself how there are levels to everything in this rap game that we are seeing, and now compared to dancing in an icebox. Well, again, as one guy is on stream in a van yelling at people in the street, and the other is in stadiums, and people are there for a great performance, and not to ask.
I saw one clip of Drake was riding around promoting the song. He got into it with a random civilian and was like trying to fight him or something. Like, he will fight anybody else besides Kendrick. Like, he'll fight a random person, and then he'll probably sue that person if he loses. It's just, it's crazy.
Money or handouts. Well, I think it's safe to say that Kendrick has never been a bigger winner, but beyond that, it really seems like here, when Kendrick Lamar was playing his Drake disses for everybody to see, that with the way Kendrick was acting, from his body language to just his demeanor, I want to say that it looks like, at the very least, that Kendrick definitely did hear what Drake has done with the cringe rollout for Iceman Episode 1 and the What Did I Miss single as a whole. And now, considering not just the people who move with Kendrick who are always online, but then also with Kendrick himself, because with the references he raps about, he shows that he is really tapped into every single circle of everything. Well, I do think it's safe to say that Kendrick did check into the new Drake song to finally see if he got what he liked from him, which was just a full-on version of Drake with the melodies. But of course, Drake is dissing and mentioning the pop out here and is just mad about everything that has happened due to the fallout of this beef. Well, Kendrick was probably just sitting there listening to this thing and laughing about the irreversible effects him just rapping at one of the highest levels ever did to somebody, because now during Kendrick's performance of Not Like Us here on the second night, which happened right after Drake dropped this record, well, when Kendrick Lamar was rapping Not Like Us and got to the part where he calls Drake a 69 god, he has done something that I don't think we have seen on the entire tour throughout all of its legendary shows, which is just break out laughing while he is rapping one of the verses that sent Drake into this crash out in the first place, that led him to freezing up all forms of logic and starting this Iceman era as a whole. And with this, well, now, however we want to draw up this scene from Kendrick Lamar and take in this entire moment that we are witnessing from him, I think no matter what you think, it's absolutely hilarious to see that after all of these shows and being outside for this long, and now starting to see Drake yet start another comeback effort. Well, now, as Kendrick is running through this song and he is rapping through some of the funniest lines that have ever been used in a rap beef against another rapper, well, now, as simultaneously Kendrick is seemingly working and is on the road and is seeing Drake turn into a literal caricature of himself to this point now where you can't even look at him seriously anymore because it is really getting that bad. Well, really what it looks like with Kendrick doing this is now that being at this point for Kendrick where he is playing this record for the entire world to get the chance to experience live, and he can't get through the words without just bursting out in laughter during some of its most memorable parts. Well, truly, for someone as professional and disciplined of a performer as Kendrick Lamar, for him to just almost break character, you can say, and not be able to contain how little he thinks of Drake when he was doing this song, well, now Drake has managed to turn, at least when it comes to him dropping music, from an actual rap or artist villain to just a straight cartoon character or meme. And really, we shouldn't be surprised that Kendrick thinks this of Drake and that he can't even think about him without laughing, because really, when we look at the entire camp and scene around Kendrick, who have also been clowning this new song from Drake and the choices he made creatively all over the timeline because it's just ridiculous. And then again, and I know Drake fans don't like this, but we are actually going to look at just the brief history of events to see why this is even happening in the first place. Well, when we see that your guy Drake really asked for all of this, not just by alluding to the beef, but dropping the song on July 4th to mirror Kendrick Lamar dropping the Not Like Us music video by name, as of course it was the anniversary of that. And then again, making it even worse for Drake.
He's obsessed. He's obsessed with Kendrick. Like, I don't know what's going on in Drake's mind. I can only imagine, but if I was Drake, I mean, I don't know how I'd be feeling either, but everything he's doing, like, Kendrick is strategic. Obviously, he's calculated. Drake seems calculated too, but Drake is calculating his moves according to Kendrick. So now he's just completely following what Kendrick's doing. So Kendrick really, like, he's in his head. Like, there's nothing Drake's doing that's not in reaction to what happened last year. So, man, I don't know what to tell you, Drake. I don't know what to tell him. Like, what do you even say to Drake? Like, what can you do? I think he just got to disappear. I think he's got to disappear, reinvent himself, lock in. Because, yeah, what he's doing right now is just, it's just giving Kendrick what Drake's doing right now is he's just giving Kendrick more ammo, more things to talk about. Like, if Drake went silent, we'd be like, oh, why is Kendrick, why is he holding on to this thing? Why is he still, rapping or doing little skits at his shows? Like, why is he dragging this thing out? But because Drake continues to do what he's doing, antics on social media, dropping these songs, these little sneak disses, the lawsuit, like, because Drake keeps building this thing up, it's just making Kendrick a bigger artist. It's just making Not Like Us a bigger record. It's just proving everything Kendrick has said in his songs and during the beef and after. Drake is proving everything true. So it's really like, as a Kendrick fan, as a music fan, as a rap music fan, it's cool because it's making people pay attention to rap music again. It's also Kendrick's dropping music, like he's dropping music consistently. So we're getting to benefit from that. So honestly, I say like, Drake, keep dissing Kendrick, keep dropping these songs, because we're just gonna get more and more music. So I'm all for it.
How obsessed with the beef he is, he then mentions the Pop Out by name in this song. By doing this, he literally invites everyone who was just there to beef with him and respond to him in any single way they can, and you can't act like this is not the case. And don't be surprised now that after being clowned for these words and seeing this song just do compared to the standard that Kendrick Lamar has set in every way, he is gonna have to start to at least admit to himself on some level that he knows that Kendrick didn't just win this beef or rap as a whole, but he really won over the entire music world more than ever right now. And again, for Kendrick to just laugh at Drake like he is a straight cartoon villain who is losing with every single episode that drops, it just shows how much Drake is shrinking and how he is losing literally everything. And once again, when we just put this into perspective, to just see the global dominance behind Kendrick Lamar right now, with of course everything that he is doing, which is so clear throughout all of the clips of him going viral right now and having more fun than ever and just interacting with the crowd more than we have ever seen, like we just saw with this Family Ties clip, or even with this other clip which is also legendary of him jumping on the GNX while playing All Right. Well, with all of this, we are seeing Kendrick interact with the fans on a new level and unlock and tap into a whole new part of his stardom, which he has not been, and at the same time, well, as Drake set up a camera in a fridge to live stream from and crash out to every single person to hear on wax. I mean, come on, Drake. It's over. Admit it. But now, speaking of being over, well, the Iceman can get a little more time to freeze up the rest of his career because he's going to be off the hook for a second. Because what is really over and what you need to leave a like before we go any further for, because it is really this important to the entire future of hip-hop, is another major situation and issue, which is not surrounding the Iceman for once, but someone else who Drake did end up beefing with and did get dissed by on Family Matters in none other than A$AP Rocky. And now with Rocky, right now his career has officially reached a point where we have to have a conversation that I think so many others have wanted to avoid for so long, because no longer can we hide from the fact that A$AP Rocky has a serious issue that may end up really ruining the entirety of his career going forward, because with him just never dropping music, it's now gotten to a point where literally after almost waiting for an entire decade, he has lost the trust of all listeners, whether it's fans or haters, and he has reached the worst point that maybe a rapper can reach in this game, aside from disrespecting the culture and just doing something like Drake does, which at the end of the day is just falling into irrelevance. But again, not because you're bad or something like that, but because you are something even worse in a lot of ways, which is lazy. And now what I am specifically talking about now is that as A$AP Rocky just released a brand new song which was supposed to be a single for his upcoming album that he keeps teasing and that he just never ends up dropping. Well, now pretty much both on Apple Music and Spotify, this record has just done atrociously, and from not debuting on the Apple Music Top Anything charts after being a literal exclusive there, to also flunking on Spotify and receiving less streams than the Nine Vicious album, and having the video be so poorly received that Rocky literally unreleased it Overall, what we are seeing right now is the entire rap world turn their back on A$AP Rocky and really just show now that after all of the games and antics and after all of the moments where it would have been perfect to drop the album and he never did, well, really, that everybody is done and nobody cares what he has to say, at least until he drops this album. And to be honest, when we look into the backlash and see how everybody is talking about how Rocky cares more about his fits and glasses and Rihanna than actual music, well,
There's a better way to save on work travel. Book your
But what you start to see is now that with a rapper who once made such great music and who was so popular to the point that there was a time where people believed that the big three was going to be Kendrick Lamar, Drake, and A$AP Rocky, not J. Cole, because of the whole New York thing, it made more sense that he would have taken the throne and led the genre forward from there. Well, now seeing this full circle moment where we have almost been waiting 10 years for a Rocky album, and he just dropped a song and people have finally turned their backs on him, all the way to the point that A$AP Rocky is literally unreleasing.
I didn't know it's been 10 years since. Was it Testing? Was the last album Testing? Damn, I didn't know it's already been 10 years. That's crazy.
Song.
Crazy.
Well, really, it's showing that Rocky has fumbled his stardom in a way, because to be an artist who was once seen as such a star and now reach this point where you're not even charting, it really speaks to a massive problem about how Rocky's career is moving and how he has put himself in a position where after offering nothing to his fans for years, well, now really there's no fan base left and they don't even want to listen and tune into you because they know that now for nearly an entire decade at this point, this same formula of dropping a single and hyping it up and saying that the album's coming soon leads to absolutely nothing. And really at this point, people have been waiting for so long and have been so betrayed that they don't even want it, because even with the singles coming out, they're always just okay or mid and they're never actually pushing the needle or anything like that. And truly with this, which once again for a lot of listeners is just leaving people with indifference, A$AP Rocky is actually falling into irrelevancy, which is what we are seeing so clearly, as people just don't care to even check out his new music because they know nothing is going to come of it. And really for A$AP Rocky, why I think a lot of the rap game is so frustrated is that to see somebody who has had so many different opportunities to release this album and have it be a massive moment, despite how many times he already messed up, well again, to just fumble time after time where it would have made sense to put out this record which you clearly have played so many snippets from because you have literally gotten the nickname of Snippet Man, well to just not put anything out and show that you are directionless and aimless, it is just baffling and it is a betrayal to all the fans.
Yeah, I feel like in this day and age, you just gotta put it out. Just gotta put it out. I think we're done with the snippets, done with the teasers, done with the pre-save and bio. Just gotta put the music out. Just gotta put it out. Give the fans what they want. Damn, that's crazy. Yeah, I didn't know it's been so long. It's been 10 years since the last A$AP Rocky album. That's crazy. Damn. Crazy. Well, thank you guys for watching. I hope you subscribe to the channel, give a like, give a thumbs up, and yeah, thank you so much.